Well, good morning, ladies. It's such a pleasure again to have you join us this morning. And we have an amazing lady, a very wonderful creative, Margarette Louise. And she is another wonderful Melbourne designer. She is somebody that really follows her passion. And as image consultants, it's just getting that little bit harder to find beautiful stores that are carrying good quality clothing for our clients. So it's when you find a place like this where you can shop online or you can pop into the store if you just happen to be in Melbourne, it just adds a little bit more, flexibility to what we can offer our clients. And we're always looking for something that's a little bit different. Thank goodness for people like Margarette. I'm going to hand over to Suzanne.
Thank you, and thank you for everybody for logging in and listening to our little talk this morning. So Margarette's another one of my friends, and she's going to talk to you about her story and her vision. But Margarette, you started off haute couture. Do you want to speak to the people and just tell them why you've gone into retail maybe? And ladies, this goes back to the session we had a couple of weeks ago where we were talking about a side hustle and how we need to have more than one string to our bow. And as you saw last week with Estelle, she's got her illustrating and which has led her to make fabrics, plus she does all her design, and you've got a couple of strings to your bow. So yeah, maybe you'd like to just explain that you started off where you started. And
sure. I started in ladies haute couture, well actually dressmaking to order. I then worked in a bridal showroom where I was involved in custom fitting of gowns, and I guess that's where I learned a lot, but also learned about structure and form, working with beautiful luxe fabrics as well, which I think is embedded in me. And then started my own line, my own label, where it was all couture work, mainly bridal and evening. And then from there, a little bit more creative control, I guess, and started the Eloise label as well. The Eloise label is, I'd like to describe as more a classic timeless line. I like to design clean lines, but with a really focus on fabric detailing. I still like to use some beautiful luxe fabrics, and I love texture in fabrics as well.
So Eloise has got some mannequins here, and so she's going to go through each of the mannequins and tell you a little bit about each piece and maybe the special pieces, how they came into being.
Sure. I like the idea as well of creating layering pieces. So my pieces then can make for an easy trans-seasonal wardrobe as well. Here we have the Azura poncho. Now, I'm not sure whether you can see the fabric detail there, but bonded lace. And I've fully lined this one in a chenille. Oops, a little bit dark perhaps. And fully lined in a beautiful chenille knit. Soft and warm and cool, the collar in the matching chenille. Now this again can be dressed up wearing one of our beautiful obi belts, so we can see how that line completely changes then for an evening occasion, or we can team that quite nicely with your favourite denim as well. Tone it down with the I'll show you our classic line pant. So this is the Inspire pant. With my pants, I like to design a beautiful wide stretch bar for both a comfortable but flattering fit. A lot of my styles are clean lines, but then I like to incorporate lots of different fabrics as well. This particular one is a beautiful boucle stretch. A little bit heavier weight for winter, and a cropped length.
And I love, as you know, I'm loving the cropped length because I get to show off boots, hosiery, all that sort of stuff too. So the cropped length, I'm loving. But anyway, that's enough about me.
So we'll move on to the our whisper top, which is in that beautiful chenille knit that I lined the poncho in. Now here I've incorporated both the top and matching infinity scarf. So it can be worn together or separate. Worn together, I like the idea of the layering. It just creates another dimension, mixing both fabrics together on the one piece. It's got a lovely, lovely collar that can be draped and worn in different ways. Cropped length back wing sleeve as well, and then tucked into, again, the bar on our flattering pants. Now this pant is a more of a flared cut actually, so it's the same cut line as our Inspire pant and culotte. It's a flared cut, so kind of looks a little bit like a skirt until we start walking there. A little bit of extra drama, and that's in a beautiful winter weight knit as well.
Can we take it?
I'll put that like this. So the Judith dress here is again a classic cut. It's quite an oversized look. So I've got design lines here back and front, so that I'm not sure whether you're picking up the feature there of the diagonal design lines, and a little bit of peaked hemline there as well for extra interest. That looks fabulous layered over a feature pant. Okay, both worn under or over. Your little tie front to add a little bit of drama. We can also dress it up with a beautiful outfit. A little bit then of in the waistline shaping. I'll just grab the jacket there. So this is a sneak peek now.
And what Margarette, I'll get Margarette to tell you the story in a minute about the Nikita jacket, because you'll love the story behind it.
So again, quite a casual day wear dress. We can absolutely team that up with the obi, or create a beautiful look, layered look, and have a little bit of fun there with your collar to add a little bit more of a textural look there with the collar as well.
And girls, have a look at the linings. How totally divine. Now,
another feature as well. Just a bit of sneak peeking things.
That's right. And even this little jacket, have a look at this lining, and see it's all finished with a braid.
A little bit of extra attention to detail, I think, makes for a beautiful piece. Now, with this piece, there's little extra things that I like to incorporate in my designs. So, for example, with this little dress, I've extended the armhole here to sit a little bit further than the shoulder line, and it creates that little bit of coverage that we like through this point here, if we're wanting to wear it as a sleeveless dress as well. So this is our Nikita coat dress, a piece that represents most of what I love about design. A classic timeless cut, incorporating beautiful luxe fabrics, also offered though in beautiful wools for a traditional style coat as well. Doesn't have to be worn evening as such. Inspiration with the beautiful high collar and open neckline from my favorite era of fashion, which is the 1950s, and all beautifully finished and lined as well. Again, I guess from my background in couture, I like a beautiful finish. I do have some other examples of fabrics and so forth.
And it came to being through our first lockdown. We're just going into our second one. But tell the ladies about how it came into being in the first COVID lockdown.
A little bit more time on my hands and receiving lots of beautiful messages, support and encouragement, encouraging me to keep designing something a little bit more special. And I guess knowing that, okay, we're in lockdown now, but coming out of lockdown, people will really be looking for something a little bit special, a little bit more unique, something that brings us joy. and I thought, okay, I'm going to incorporate then in my design the elements that bring me joy in design. I made this particular one. I styled this particular one with the matching obi, double-breasted, and then all beautifully fully done.
Look, it's thrilling to find somebody, especially trained in haute couture. It gives you a garment that is very special. You know that there's a lot of passion that's gone into it. You feel special wearing it, as opposed to something that you've found that it looks okay, but you just know it's not finished off or beautifully put together. You know, it's pretty much mainstream. Whereas when you wear something that you've created, you just know you're not going to see it coming down the street towards you.
I do also offer custom make as well, you see. So I do offer some beautiful fabrics from which you can select then to have some of my designs custom made. So you will have that one only piece as well. Okay. And obviously the custom fit as well.
Because I selected the fabric, there's only ever enough fabric, there was only enough fabric for two of those.
No, you've got a one only, darling. And special lining too.
And I could choose my own lining, so I've got this animal print lining with the cheetah's face. It's amazing. So Margarette can do that too, and she can do that even whilst we're in lockdown here, via Zoom, via sending up fabric samples, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, my Nikita jacket I absolutely adore.
So if, for example, we had a client who wanted something custom made and came to us and said, look, I'm just seeking something really, I want something I'm not going to see on anyone else. Would you, and in the current, situation, would we, for example, do like a Zoom call or a Skype or some kind of consult where we could get you on board, I could be with my client and we could talk about what she needs, perhaps I've already discussed with the client, these are the sorts of things you do, we know she's interested, and you could, take a brief from her basically through that, and then we could do measurements and so on. Is that the sort of thing that you would do?
Absolutely, darling. Yes, absolutely. Most of my range you'll see that I do have online, so she can get a great understanding then of the type of products and styling. Yes, even as Suzanne said, I'm even happy to send up particular fabric swatches from which she can choose. Yes, easy done.
Great. And just rough turnaround time?
For custom orders, rough 2 to 3 weeks usually.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah,
it's excellent.
Yeah. We make here in-house. Everything is made in Melbourne.
Yep.
I still do make most of the product as well. Made here in-house, so yeah.
Which makes it even more special, really. But I've got my coat here. I want to show everybody. Can you see, am I on the screen?
You are.
Look at this. And this is totally divine. I love the button you've used here in the front as well. But the lining again is, just take a look at this. That's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's a colour that is almost, well, it's a real neutral, because it would suit somebody like a bronzed, but it's also that it's got enough coolness in it as well for somebody that is on the cooler side, like me, with a touch of bronze through my hair. But I love this coat. It's my very precious piece right now.
Girls, that the pricing is really reasonable. I think you'll be surprised. Margarette, tell the girls how much you retail this one for.
The Nikita coat dress is $4.50.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's a big surprise, because we think, oh my goodness, it's going to be so expensive. And I know myself, a lot of my clients will think, oh no, I couldn't possibly walk in there because it's going to be really expensive. And then when they come in and they see the quality of the work, they still think it's going to be really expensive. And then it's such a pleasant surprise when they go, oh,
Yeah.
well, that is so reasonable for what you're getting, and the fact that Margarette's sitting out the back, making a lot of these garments herself.
So back to, we're talking about the beautiful Azira poncho here. This would be the beautiful bonded lace. fully lined with the chenille knit. Now this is our chenille knit again, which is what we do that beautiful the whisper top. So again, a little bit more of a casual piece. We've got the lovely crushed knit. Each fabric, you know, holds its own as far as different styling, different structure and the way it falls. So sometimes using a different fabric on the exact same styling can make for a completely different look. Again, we've lined that one in the beautiful chenille knit with the feature band. This one is the one only as well. Our pants are a great. So this is our super popular linen viscose blend. The exact same cut as the first one that I showed you in the bouquet, just to give you an idea of the fabric drapes and stylings that we have. So this is our linen viscose, the beautiful quality of a linen, but then the soft drape with the viscose. Again, this is our straight cut wide leg Inspire pant with that beautiful wide stretch bar, comfortable and flattering fit. Then a more exact same styling, but more of a casual look in our new plaid. A little bit more of a structure in this fabric, and a medium weight. So lovely for winter, this little one. In the beautiful printed velvet. So this is a black velvet with a gold and silver overprint in a willow. And that's in the flared cut.
I was really taken by my coat because, you know, these are two panels, but it just matches up so beautifully all the way down. And it's the first thing I look for. And I was not surprised, of course, that it was absolutely perfect.
Again, a very popular one this season, our whisper top, available in that beautiful olive. So that's the chenille knit again with the little bit of extra dimension with that beautiful infinity scarf.
And these, for you Sydney girls, where it doesn't get as cold as in Melbourne, these are very light, aren't they?
Beautiful, silky soft to wear.
Really soft.
Yep. 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 Now this is the one we had a sneak peek of before. This is our Own the Moment top. A great little tie front. Can be actually secured down, just crossed over and secured down with one of our obi belts as well. But a cute little piece either over or under our Judas dress, and that's an amazing fabric, and that beautiful feature sleeve as well.
And I've just worn mine over a long sleeve striped t-shirt, and it looks cool.
And we did that same styling with the new plaid as well. Again, a little bit more structure in that one, being it's a heavier weight. But you know, all my pieces mix and match and make for great trans-seasonal pieces as well with layering.
Every time I come, I find something and hyperventilate. Look at these.
So again, this is our Inspire pant, the flared cut in. Now it's a sheer net with a beautiful embroidered velvet rose. So the idea behind the sheerness in the pant is to wear either perhaps a legging underneath or over one of your plainer fabrics in the same cut, which will then act as a lining for the pant. So again, to be able to wear that in different ways.
I'm thinking that is mine.
I just said I had my eye on it first.
Now again, what I do like to do is, okay, so this is the same styling again in the beautiful flared cut pant in a gorgeous brocade in shades of gold lurex with a black base. This, if you've noticed that, oh, where did it go here? Same fabric here as the obi belt. So what I do like to do is, for my fabrics, instead of them going to landfill, we try and incorporate as much as our remnant fabrics in other pieces. So I do some beautiful little clutch bags, coin purses, and our gorgeous obi belt. Perhaps Suzanne, if you could show the other obi. At the very end, to give you an idea. That's how we use our beautiful remnant fabric to make these gorgeous obi belts.
And the beauty about Margarette's obi belts is that she's got a little.
May I turn around and show?
Oh, okay. So there's a little slit there, and so it slides through. So you don't have that bulk around the back where you double it over. So that then if you're putting that underneath something, you're not ever going to have that bunch bubble at the back there.
Exactly. So one slit on the obi belt, one side on the obi belt has a little slit which you slide through the tie. It creates for a nice flush finish through the back, holds everything in place, so you're not fiddling, it's not moving. The ties I make in a beautiful crepe, so you can tie them quite tightly and they'll hold in place, and yet then easy to untie as well. So there are beautiful obis. This is another fabric that we offer in our Judas dress, more of a lighter weight summer styling. Again, a different look with a different fabric. This is our beautiful crushed bamboo in black. Same line, it's same cut, completely different fabric, and it gives a very different fall and dimension.
You had a lot of other things in the store as well, accessories. I'm interested in your little bags. Oh, there you go.
These are the little clutch bags. I do make up the little matching coin purses as well. Again, they're all a zip closure, all beautifully fully lined. And again, these are made with our beautiful remnant fabric. I do carry other accessories in stores, some beautiful jewellery mainly, all handmade here in Melbourne. I like to support as many other local artists as I can as well.
There's a couple more of the Nikita coats just to show you the variation and how they can look so different in different fabrics.
Absolutely. So this one's beautiful patchwork and overstitching. A little bit more dare I say edgy look, that one. Yeah. Again, exact same cut, completely different fabric, a different fall and a different look. And then a beautiful winter weight wool, the tiny gold lurex.
So just beautiful. So you can see you can have, as we well know, we can have something that's in different fabrics, but it looks so different, even though it's the same pattern because of the different fabrics.
A different fall, a different cut, and worn in different ways. Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. So, questions?
So there's a question from Ilona. She wanted to know if the pants would suit the short girls.
I'm 5'2". I'm little. The pants I do, I find the fit because the wide basque is really quite flattering. You can adjust the height to which you wear the pant as well. I do make the pant in a size small up to an extra large. So it does cater for many shapes and sizes. Yes. Yeah.
I think too, Evelyn, because there's a lot of movement in them, they're not wide-legged, whereas they're sitting out and they're stiff. They sort of move with you and they fall.
I do like a soft drape in a pant fabric.
Yeah.
So yes, they'll fall and move with you. That's right.
Margaret, where do you draw your inspiration from?
Everywhere, darling. Everywhere. Dare I say, travel, people I meet, people's stories of travel, film, music, everyday life. Quite often than not, when I find a gorgeous fabric, that will kind of bring a design idea as well. Lots of ideas happening that kind of get shelved until the right fabric find.
You know, do you say, oh, that's a great idea, and do you carry around like a little sketchbook or something and note them down, or do you just keep them in your head? Or?
Yeah, they're kind of in my head. Yeah, very rarely. Like I said, lots of sometimes more ideas than time, and sometimes it's really just until that right fabric find will inspire a design. That's almost often usually the case. Yeah, I do buy the majority of my fabrics through local wholesalers. I do like to venture to Japan occasionally as well, and beautiful fabric finds there. Some of the pieces incorporating vintage kimono and obi fabrics, which may be coming in some beautiful lapels and some jackets soon. So yes.
Do you also source end-of-line fabrics that have been done by the high-end, like the designers?
No, I haven't ventured down that way.
Right. So when you're working, do you, because I know that this is your passion, do you find that you're really working when you're working? Do you feel like because it's your passion? And myself, I don't feel like I'm working because I'm doing stuff that I love. Wondered
Not
if
often. Yeah, not. I understand it. Yeah, not often. I love what I do. So yeah, absolutely. It's a real joy for me to both surround myself in my studio space and with any design possibility available to me to actually design and construct. I do all the sampling, so to me that's kind of my ultimate being in my studio space. I also love the interaction with the customer as well, the client and the showroom as well. So that's another element of my work, which again I love.
it must be amazing seeing somebody walking around with something that you've created. Tell me about that.
Absolutely. Well, yes, and even Suzanne, the way she styles my beautiful pieces as well, she'll pop up on my Instagram feed quite often. Just being able to see how the one piece can look so unique and worn in so many different ways. Everybody has their own sense of styling, and the one piece that I envisioned in one way can look completely different on lots of different people. So yes, very exciting to see my styles, my designs both worn and styled in many different ways.
So ladies, if you're interested in that Nikita jacket, if you have a look at my Instagram, you'll see I did a challenge for the social outfit in Sydney, and I had to pick one item and style it 5 different ways for the challenge. And because I wanted it to be a challenge, I chose the Nikita brocade jacket. And yeah, I styled it 5 different ways, and I could have kept going. So often people will get a jacket like that and think that it's a work of art, and it is, and that's for best and going out. But for me, I put it back with jeans, I put it back with tutus and all sorts of things. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that your garments lend themselves. And I think because they are that classic style, beautiful quality luxe fabrics and classic styles, they lend themselves, don't they?
Absolutely. And I do encourage my customers as well to incorporate their special pieces within their everyday wardrobe. Just a little bit of a hint of the luxe fabric within your day wear and makes you feel special. We encourage to not keep your special things for special occasions, and really love them and wear them and make them work for you. Enjoy them.
I was just going to say something. Only Suzanne could do that. The one jacket with so many styles.
No. There's lots of ways people would do it. Maybe not all the ways I did it, but yeah. But what was funny, if you do look at those photos, you'll see how the different things that I wore underneath that pulled different colours out of that fabric.
Absolutely.
And it was quite amazing. Yeah. And that was one of the things I loved about the challenge, was that it looked like it didn't necessarily look like exactly the same coat all the time.
Yeah.
Over here,
Just not.
you can see a bit more of the fabric there too.
Yes.
But it's as light. What's this one?
Made of rubber, actually.
Made of rubber.
Yes, yeah.
Mm.
And this one.
Designer again, rubber, a real big statement piece. That one.
Don't they make I think I recognise Angela Clark there.
Angela Clark,
Clark's
that's right.
Now, generally her pieces are worn quite long. What I love about her pieces is the other versatility where you can actually wear it quite high for a completely different look.
Yes.
Because of the large spans of the long line of the poncho. I decided to keep that one quite long. Different designers, all beautifully designed and handmade in.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
And then down here,
Touch and matching coin purse from our remnant fabric.
Em, can you see that one?
Yeah.
I love these pieces, and I was just looking at them on your website, and they are so well
Which
priced.
piece, lovey?
These the necklaces. They are so well priced for something that looks
These
like
ones?
that. Yeah,
This
the
one?
the one hanging on the busts with the tassel and the.
Yes. All beautifully handmade in Melbourne.
I know,
and what I love.
The price on your website, that's so reasonable.
Yes, she does an amazing job. And each of her pieces is unique. They're all one of a kind.
I'm here. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you're all madly in love with Margarette's creations, as I definitely am. Yes, Alona, I just saw that question pop up. Yes, ordering is easy. And if you need to speak to Margarette, just give her a call. She's more than happy to talk you through any ordering issues that you might have. So
Yeah.
thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Margarette Louise. I just love your label. I'll be down as soon as I can. I've got a few things that I need to do in Melbourne, and you're at the top of the list. Thank you so much. Absolutely beautiful session. So, Suzanne, I tell you what, we're going to have to ring each other to make sure that before we catch up together.
Definitely.